Hello, everyone. Stan Dane here. Yesterday, James Gordon, admin over at the Education Forum, closed the prayer person, prayer man, or prayer woman research thread. He said the debate was going nowhere and pretty much said for pro prayer man supporting people to come over to Rock. Now, this was his post yesterday where he announced his decision to close the thread. He said it was clear to him that after 76 pages, the debate was going nowhere. I wonder what took him so long to figure that out. But he said the proponents of prayer man are so grounded in their truth that any alternatives suggested are quickly dismissed. Yeah, right. Let's take a look at how the thread got started. As you can see, it got started by a person who is now called a guest. Now called a guest because the person is no longer a member of the forum. And what you're seeing there, the poll results, is not indicative of what he originally posted. And James Gordon's post following that opening post talks about quality of images being poor and some issues he has. It doesn't even make sense. So this person, this guest, after he kicked off this thread, put some images forth and in what he considered to be credible research. And then after he took some heat from it, he decided to, take his ball and go home. He quit the forum and deleted all of the posts. And what is there now is just, it doesn't really even make sense. But what was there originally? That's a good question. I don't really remember, but I know it was some images like this. These are images that came from him. The one on the left there with the white arrows came out around about the time my book came out, Prayer Man Out of the Shadows and Into the Light, where the book began to be attacked. Trolls came out and tried to undermine it, tried to undermine the work that we did, the work that Sean Murphy did, by pointing out that Prayer Man in the images, the Darnell images, was actually a woman. And those white arrows were pointing to some white splotches that this guest researcher said were buttons on a woman's coat. He even drew an outline of the figure, which shows, and according to him, what looks to be a woman. And a little cute little picture up there of the woman saying, yep, it's a woman, all right. The other image on the right is really from the same source image, but I don't know how we got that. I don't even know where the colors came from, the bluish and the pinkish colors. It was all over the map. And there's been other images that have come and gone in that very place. So it's really hard to say. We don't know where these images come from, how he made them. When he was asked, he wouldn't even say anything about it. This is a source image here where the Prayer Man image comes from. It's from Darnell. It's really one of the clearest image of a series of images of that film. And right here, the figure in the circle is what we call Prayer Man. We call him Prayer Man because he looks like a man. If somebody thinks he looks like a woman or a chimpanzee or a space alien, well, it's in the eye of the beholder. But I think he looks like a man, and many of us at Rock think he looks like a man. The people that I know that I've showed this image to sort of think he looks like a man, has a masculine look to him, and also has a superficial image resemblance to Lee Oswald. And I think, and many of us think, that should arouse curiosity, especially considering what we know that Lee Oswald said while in custody. Not much is written down, but said he was out front with Bill Shelley. Kind of interesting. So yeah, we think this is a guy and not a gal. And yeah, I think someone soiled the air, and I think I can still smell traces of that. Going back to James Gordon's post, he says there does exist a forum that supports this theory, the theory of prayer man, and maybe that's where the supporters of this proposition should now congregate and endlessly repeat their views to the like minded resident there. Hmm, the like minded resident. Uh, I think he's talking about Rock. Rock's the only forum that embraces the idea of prayer man and is willing to explore it further. There's more than one like minded resident there, though, but who cares? Well, what I found kind of funny here was the Education Forum stands for thoroughly researched evidence and theories. Really? I didn't know that. Because, Sean Murphy's work, Mr. Gordon, in the prayer man thread in your forum is just chock full of thoroughly researched evidence, okay, and theories that are based on that sound evidence. It's all part of my book too. I wrote the book based on that thread. A book that Mr. Gordon, you said you purchased. Maybe you'll review it someday if you get around to reading it. And although serious attempts have been made or have been to introduce logic and discipline to this topic, well, the logic and discipline are already there, Mr. Gordon. They're there. The only thing that I would note is that it seems like the Goon Squad in the Education Forum tries to take that logic and discipline away or water it down or obscure it. And the supporters of Prayer Man have made that impossible. No, Lord Mingus. No, Mr. Gordon. The supporters of Prayer Man have not made that impossible. You and your forum members have made that impossible. Let's talk about some of the forum members that we've been that have been debating in that thread. One of them believes in Sasquatch. He actually hunts Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Can you believe it? I mean, I don't care what people do on their own spare time, but this guy he actually goes out and searches for them and takes people out to look for them. I guess he's a believer, you might say. And there's other characters too that, actually, quite frankly, they seem like they come out of the Bronx Zoo to me. But that's just my opinion. There's a character. Oh, that's you, Brian. You've been banned. Shoo, go away. And there's other people too who have every now and then will show up to talk about the evidence and quote the Bible and talk about the evils of ethanol and whatnot. They're all over the place. No, Reopen Kennedy case is the home of Prayer Man. Prayer Man is, as Bart Camp says, it's more than a fuzzy picture. It represents a body of evidence that places Lee Oswald on the first floor of the Texas School Book Depository at the time of the assassination. We're talking solid evidence here, okay? Stuff that the Education Forum says is important to them. They give it lip service, but all you see is endless talking there. So Rock is the home of Prayer Man. So for all of you people who Mr. Gordon said should congregate over here, come on in. You're welcome. This is Stan Dane. Thank you, and keep rocking.